I feel like such a Debbie Downer saying that your shit follows you, pardon my French, um, in the new year if you haven't dealt with it. This topic came about because one of my clients brought up how excited she was for 2020, but there was also fear that this wouldn't be any different than last year. And I had to agree with her. I was like, I am sorry, but that's the truth. That's the fact. If you don't deal with your stuff, if you're not different with your issues and the problems, they are going to follow you this coming year. And it doesn't change just because it's a new year. What often happens is that just when the new year rolls in, people get very excited. They start to do things differently, meaning they go to the gym. Maybe they're different in their family. Maybe they're like, okay, I'm going to find this right relationship this year, and they start doing things differently. But what often happens is that when you're not addressing the deep rooted stuff from the inside, then it doesn't really change the problem from the outside. So for some time, maybe it feels like, yes, I am doing something about this, so I feel so much better. I'm going to the gym. I got my profile up on whatever thing.com. I don't know any of that stuff anymore. But, like I'm doing something, but what happens is that they haven't really dealt with the root cause of what is causing them to have that problem in the first place. Now, trust me, despite being a psychotherapist, I am not a fan of talking about problems and issues. I actually dislike doing that because what happens is that it keeps you stuck in your stories day after day after day after day, and that's not what we want. But there is so much truth. Not truth is not the right word, so much power to dealing with the root cause of what has kept that issue hooked. So what I'm really talking about is, say you've had anxiety. Okay, anxiety is a common problem, and I don't script these things, so bear with me. So anxiety is a common problem, and so you say, okay, I'm not going to be anxious anymore. I am going to do something about it. So when I feel anxious, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to, meditate. I'm going to do other things. Yes, those things absolutely help. But if you do not understand why is this anxiety here in the first place and release that from the root, you're not going to get many results. Now, how do you go about doing that? So I'm going to give you another analogy. So think about a tree, right? So you cut off the branches. The tree's going to continue to grow because the roots are deep in. But unless you take the roots out, the tree's going to continue to grow. So how do you work with an issue like anxiety, for example, right? So you go into a journey. So how I do it, what I recommend with my clients, and I do it for myself too, is go deeper into that issue and see what is the root cause of it. I ask the question of, like, when does this first start? How did this first originate? What is holding this problem in place? And usually it takes me to a time and space in the past where this issue has been held. And when you release that issue, maybe it was someone, things not feeling stable in your home, then you work on that specific issue, and it's a short journey. And that's what I've seen time and time again. It's like, it doesn't have to be long drawn out. It can happen very quickly with the aid of someone to assist you who knows what they're doing. And that's what I help my clients do too. So I go in there, we release that issue, and then ask another question of, like, where is there anything else holding this in place? Meaning, where else, how is this still being held? And sometimes it may take you to a past life, if you believe in that kind of stuff. And again, you go in there, you clear it, and then it no longer has that same power as it did currently without addressing that root issue. I'm going to really invite you to think about this and do this. And if you're curious about this, I offer complimentary sessions, just like 30 minutes long. And even in 30 minutes, I've seen people move through these things with such speed. It's really interesting and fascinating to watch if you're ready. If they're not ready, then we can't do that. But it's really fascinating to see that, how you can move so much in such a short amount of time if you know exactly what's holding that issue in place. So I am going to invite you to go on a journey either by yourself, or if you need my assistance, I offer these complimentary sessions so that you can get a sense of like how this works. And there is absolutely no strings attached. I'm not going to pitch you anything after that. This is not about come work with me or any of that stuff. It's more about I really, really, really see the power of how this can benefit people. So I'm going to invite you to pick an issue that you're struggling with and ask this question: what is the root of this particular issue? And then journey with that and see where it takes you. Let it show you where it is being held in your system, and also show you how to release it. All right? Okay, so if you have any other questions about this, feel free to reach out to me. And if this was helpful for you, please put it in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts and perspective on this. This is one of the things I love doing, and I love seeing the transformation happen so fast with this. All right, bye people.